The IRS application for nonprofit status requires that we define exactly what we will be doing that qualifies CalFest for tax-exempt status and for what purposes we will be seeking donations. We formalized 11 statements of purpose, which gives us a very broad base for tax-exempt activities, which we will discuss following this brief review of the IRS purposes. Our first purpose: to provide a gathering point for a community to witness and participate in stories intended to explain and give meaning to human experience. Purpose: to provide education about the cultural significance of our geographical area. Another purpose to our storytelling social theater is to nourish a sense of community and rekindle a deep connection to the land that will encourage a stewardship mentality and promote local sustainability. Purpose: to promote the arts and community creativity as a force for bringing about social change. To educate the community on issues of significance to it, such as conflict resolution. To promote research and workshop opportunities for our community on environmentalism, nature, geography, and ecologically aware communitist theater. To broaden community recognition that our ecosystem is part of a cultural system and that our geographical area is inseparable from our history and success as a community. To further our vision that theater, life, and ecology are symbiotic and interconnected as a complex system of communication and transformation. To offer ongoing community-based events in the form of workshops, networking services, festivals, and the promotion of projects that further the vision of communitist theater. To develop our local cultural tourism for sustainability by 1. Showcasing the traditions, values, and lifestyles of historical indigenous cultural communities through festivals and rituals, and 2. Incorporating the local members by training and employing them, and in the process encouraging them to participate in the festival activities. And our last purpose for our storytelling social theater is to research and educate about the concept of transformational activism, the idea that people need to transform themselves internally as well as in external action in order to create meaningful change in the world. This may be achieved through peacekeeping techniques like conflict resolution, through opening minds to new ideas, historical perspectives, and cultures, through exploring the transformational economics of how resources might flow in a sustainable local community, and finally, through providing venues for collective creativity. This multi-level process, by creating deep connections between people, will tap into the power of mass collaboration in a way that transforms participants into more compassionate and environmentally aware community members. What are the IRS tax-exempt activities? There are certain activities which IRS gave us approval to do. When we do those things, we do not have to pay taxes on any income. If we do things that are not part of these activities, then we have to go back to IRS, prove that the activities fall within the mission statements, and get an advanced ruling to expand our activities. In 5 years, IRS will review all of our records, conduct an audit, and determine whether we pass their test. If not, we will lose nonprofit status. In the worst-case situation, then CalFest will be declared as a private corporation, and the members can all be taxed for the income. So, as we grow into a larger festival, involving more people and more ideas, we must always look to the current IRS approval. What can CalFest do that is IRS approved? The Volunteer Orientation Handbook gives a fuller description of each of these activities. Before you submit an idea to the Board of Directors, please make sure that you have read these and understand them. This will prevent anyone from feeling that their idea was not important enough to use, because we can only determine what to pursue according to the IRS approved activities. Item number 4 includes grants, as they have reports required on the outcome of grant funds. Collaborative formation, number 5, is our hope that other artistic groups and nonprofits will join in an effort to bring more comprehensive funding into our area through collaborative efforts. And 6, community building, is our hope to grow CalFest into its mission of being a true communitist theater. What are the volunteer requirements? The entire volunteer agreement is in the Volunteer Orientation Handbook. It was required that everyone read this before signing their volunteer application. If you did not do this, please take time to read this document, especially the state and federal required policies of health and safety, child protection, and equal opportunities. Even though this is communitist theater, open to all, the bylaws do give authority to prevent people from becoming volunteers if they violate their volunteer agreement and put the CalFest organization in danger in any way whatsoever. In general, a volunteer is agreeing to attend the training sessions required for their particular duties, that they will not use alcohol or drugs while on volunteer duty. There will be no payment of personal expenses, and that CalFest is not responsible for anything personal that you lose or get stolen. As a volunteer, you also agree to protect and return all CalFest property in your possessions, including scripts, and agree to abide by all copyright laws and confidentiality requirements. You further agree to hold CalFest and its sponsors harmless from any claims made by you. You will be personally responsible for any of your own criminal actions. You agree to be photographed or videotaped for promotional purposes. And you agree to abide by all the state policies. Keep your hours assignments. You agree that you're not an employee. This is not a paid contract, and there is no financial relationship between you and CalFest. And if required, especially if working with children and in child workshops, you agree to a background reference check, and you understand that no medical insurance is provided by CalFest. When CalFest has sufficient membership and grant funding, and perhaps other funds to pay salaries, then the officer positions can be held by different people and be paid positions. The nonprofit board of directors has to have 51% disinterested members. That means no financial rewards can go to 51% of the board members. We have 5 members now, which means that 2 could be paid as officers if they're non-relatives, but with the current board composition, it would be difficult to do that. The board can be comprised of 9 members, which then makes 4 people capable of earning a salary for being officers and doing the extensive work which goes into making CalFest function throughout the year. The perfect option would be 4 separate people to hold the positions of officers, and the board only being a guiding board rather than a working board. Currently, the board members are Catherine King, Barbara Layden, Joe Layden, Sheila Clark, Bob Clark, with the officers Catherine King as president, Barbara Layden as secretary, Sheila Clark as treasurer. Thank you for coming. We hope you join us and create an annual festival all of the community can be proud of. This concludes the volunteer orientation video.